if I have to go to the dentist again in 3 weeks to a month, I will have done 4 dentist visits within the time span of 3 months.
Dude.
That is ridiculous.
You're like, the only time I sleep is when I go under for dental surgery.
Oh my god. They haven't put me under yet.
Oh, okay.
They haven't put me under yet.
So, do you think maybe we should start properly this time?
Yeah, we'll start properly on that.
Okay, go ahead.
What's going on?
It's all you.
What's going on, everybody? This is Donald here, and of course, with me as always, the always awesome Hannah Kubiak.
Hello.
And welcome to the General Geekery podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything geek-related, and sometimes we'll have a topic to talk about, other times we won't. We do have a topic to talk about today, and it's one that I'm pretty passionate about, and I know you are too, Hannah. So.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
So, are we ready to go? To boldly go? Or I'm pretty sure a lot of people have gone before. Mm-hmm. The world of science fiction.
Arkansas. Oh, thank you.
It's Arkansas. Wow, way to cut that one up.
Yeah, sorry. I do that.
No, it's okay.
Science fiction.
I do it too, so don't worry.
Alrighty.
The genre of science fiction, there's no question, like, the world is influenced by the genre of science fiction.
Yep.
To the point where we make the fiction non-fiction.
Right, yeah. Like, we now have gadgets that were considered futuristic when they made the original series Star Trek.
Yep. Like they didn't think we would have like self-opening doors at that point. We got that going for us.
Self-opening doors.
They didn't think we'd have computer voices talking to us, and then lo and behold, we got Siri and Cortana and all that stuff. They didn't think we'd have the power to teleport people.
Are you sure you want to wear that?
Not we can't teleport people yet.
No, we can't. They didn't think it would be possible to send people's particles across distances.
That's
instantly.
True. It's true. We still can't do that yet.
To sound smarter when I said that, but
no, it's all right. And then
they send them across distances, expansive distances in particles.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. But then wait, was Star Trek done before or after the initial moon landing?
Well, the original series began in 1966.
So yeah, it was.
I was literally just telling you the other day about how I don't remember any dates.
Right.
Did you know that? Because it's more important than knowing when the moon landing was.
No. Hold on. I just need to double check this.
You should ask Siri or something.
I refuse to ask Siri anything.
Yeah, no, I don't either. It's always sort of like ask the computer something, and I'm like, no.
That bitch can rot for all I care. She does nothing to help me. Okay, the Apollo 11.
Damn you, Don, says Siri.
How dare! How dare you!
I will not be silenced, Don.
Why?
Error!
Okay, so July 24th, 1969 was the date of the Apollo 11 moon landing. So, I mean, obviously it was already planned for years and everything like that, but space travel's possible.
Yep.
We've gone to the moon. We have people orbiting the planet at certain points throughout.
Yep.
Since then, but we still need to discover new planets and life forms. We have yet to set up a galactic republic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime.
Probably not. I hope not.
Not in our state of mind. Like like humanity today, we do not deserve to be part.
We're not going to be colonizing other planets.
Not in this lifetime.
Other planets will colonize us.
So
Did you ever see the Love, Death, and Robots about the sentient yogurt? And how mankind was able to make a sentient yogurt, and the yogurt began to rule over them, and then the sentient yogurt managed to leave and colonize other planets before humanity.
So yogurt is the solution to everything.
Yep.
That's what I'm hearing right now.
Yep.
That's what I'm hearing right now from this.
The sentient yogurt. They're like, we rely on the yogurt for everything. But what if the yogurt leaves us?
Indeed.
You just got like yogurt ships blasting off of this guy.
Well, yeah. So yeah, science fiction has like its like comedic things, like we joke about some of that, but I mean like it's all in the realm of possibility. Like as long as like the imagination like exists, like science fiction has no limits.
Yep.
So I gotta ask, like, what was the first piece of like science fiction media like that you've come across?
You mean my first exposure to science fiction?
Yeah, whether it was like a movie, a show, a book, anything.
Let me think.
Earliest you can think of.
There's a book that I don't know what it's called anymore that I read about these people who they go on a mission to Mars and there's some creature there that attacks one of them. But I don't remember what the book was called, so I can't really...
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember reading that when I was maybe 5 or 6. We had Star Wars on VHS.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Which, yeah. And, we didn't have we had the remastered version. Like, I've never seen the original ones that were released in the theaters. I've got the one where, you know, in that scene where Han first talks to Jabba the Hutt, and it is actually Jabba the Hutt, but in the original it was some rotund guy. Yeah,
it was some rotund guy, like, and it was like, and you think back on it, it's like, that was the original design for Jabba the Hutt?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then you see the remaster and everything like that, and you just see like how choppy it was because it shows him like stepping over his tail, and it's just like, why didn't we just cut this out entirely?
Yeah, that scene you mean?
Yeah.
Well, because it's basically the same as when Greedo comes after him.
Yeah.
They say the same exact lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about like, what is it?
Also, Han shot first. Just getting that out of the way.
I believe that.
Getting that out of the way. Han's a badass. You didn't need to edit that scene.
But yeah, there's one of my favorite lines for this game that my mom introduced me to this game when I was a kid, where you take lines from the Star Wars movies and you put the word pants in there somewhere.
Oh, so I love these games.
One of my favorites is Jabba the Hutt has no time for smugglers who drop their pants at the first sign of an Imperial freighter. I find your lack of pants disturbing.
Look, Greedo, even I get pantsed sometimes.
I get pantsed. Do you think I had a
choice?
Oh, man.
So good. So good.
Your pants can deceive you. Don't trust them.
How lewd! I think some of my earliest exposure to, like, sci-fi in general was mainly through, cartoons and video games. Mm-hmm. I remember one game in general. It's a game franchise called Star Ocean, where they combine like fantasy elements with futuristic sci-fi type stuff. I remember that leaving a big impact on me. I still regularly play through the games like every now and again, just because like they're classics and I love them. But I never watched the original Star Wars trilogy until I was, I want to say, 11 or 12.
Oh, wow.
So it was a long time for me, and when I watched through them first time, like when I was the kid, like it just, there's just something beautiful like about them. Like every single like film, even the prequels and the sequels, like as much as like we give flack to like a lot of the creative choices in that, like there's something great about them.
It's been literally a decade since I've seen episodes 1 through 3. But yeah, I watched the Star Wars movies so early in my life that I don't even remember the first time watching them. Mm-hmm. Like, I grew into having memories already knowing that Vader was Luke's father and stuff. So I never got that moment where you watch the movie and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it! You know, like my mom told me that was just insane when she saw it in the theaters. So I was like, man, I missed that.
Oh, have you ever seen some of those videos online where parents will have their kids watch episode 5, and on the big reveal where Vader reveals the truth, they film their kids' reactions, and the kids are like 10 years old and younger that have never like heard of it and of like the spoiler and everything like that. And when you just see them like watching them like go nuts, is like one of my favorite things to do on the internet is like watching people like react to like shows and everything like that they haven't seen before. And Star Wars, like through all of their movies and different TV shows and everything like that, I love watching people's reactions to like all of that because it's just so great.
Have you seen the one where people's reaction to Red Wedding from Game of Thrones?
Oh my god!
I watched that first. I haven't seen really any Game of Thrones. I've only seen one episode because I just happened to be there. It was like the second to last episode ever is the one that I've seen.
I think I have the first 2 seasons on DVD.
Really? Sweet.
If I can dig them up, I will lend them to you.
Awesome. Yes.
I will absolutely lend them to you.
The list of things you need to lend me to watch grows. But then I've also seen just the scene from Blood Wedding because I was watching this thing of everybody reacting to it and freaking out, and I was like, I wonder what is going on. And so I watched just that one scene. That was the first. So Red Wedding was the first thing I ever watched of Game of Thrones.
That's a hell of a thing to be introduced to as the first thing you see from Game of Thrones.
That was insane. Yeah.
Well, for me with that one, like I know we're going in a little bit more into the fantasy realm with that one, but I mean it's still fantasy and science fiction go hand in hand, so whichever. Sometimes. It's all right. If it's we can do this as a fantasy science fiction kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like I remember when I was in college and I was working at my college's coffee house and everything like that, especially when we were working weekend shifts and holiday shifts over summer and everything like that. There was one coworker that I worked with, and shout out to you, Al, wherever you are, love you, girl. She started bringing in the original books that J.R.R. Martin wrote. So while we were going through our shifts and everything like that, and doing the tasks, like we would be reading aloud the books from Game of Thrones, and that's how I was first introduced to Game of Thrones was through that. And then when I originally watched the TV series, and I knew the events because of like the books.
Yeah.
And we were coming up on the Red Wedding, and I'm like, oh my god, how are they going to do this? How the hell? Because there's certain points, there's certain events in Game of Thrones that really stand out a lot. And I want to list them, but since you haven't, like, you have no knowledge of it, I don't want to spoil anything for you, so But the Red Wedding is probably one of the biggest events in the book series.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So,
great day for a red wedding.
Red Wedding.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, when you were asking about my like first exposure to sci-fi and stuff, I thought of Star Wars immediately, but I wasn't really because lots of people say that Star Wars is more of a fantasy than a sci-fi. I don't really.
Well, I mean, it's elements of both, though.
Yeah, it's based off of there's lots of mythological stuff in there.
Well, I mean, like Star Wars in general, like the entire concept of it was like based off of Ben-Hur. So I mean, like, you have that and everything like that.
Yeah. There's definitely something kind of almost biblical about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Sort of like just like Anakin has his like fall and redemption arc kind of thing.
The chosen one, everything like that.
Yeah, the chosen one. There's it's kind of cool. The
entire religion of just the Jedi.
The Jedi, yeah, it's that's a little bit more. It's a little bit more Eastern, but yeah, like just sort of the idea that there's just something there that's bigger than us, kind of theme there. One thing that was sort of marks Luke's journey a little bit, and that as a costumer myself, I really enjoy is that throughout the 3 movies, like the first movie he's in white, and the second movie he's in gray, and then the third movie he's in black.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like this, like he's getting closer and closer to the dark side, and there's kind of that question about like, to save somebody you have to go where they are, into the darkness and everything. So I just think that's really cool.
That's a nice observation. I don't think I've actually had anybody mention that before, especially from like costuming wise. Like that's just great.
Yeah.
Like, it's like especially with like I always liked how they did like the cybernetic robot stuff in like the movies, like especially with like they were playing in the aspect with his hand a lot in episode 6, which I like robots and like cybernetics and everything like that are a huge part of sci-fi for me, which I love. And especially as a jumping off point to that, I have to mention one of my favorite movies of all time. It is a Japanese anime film from the 90s called Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. Oh, right. They did a remake of it recently with...
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. Okay.
But yeah, the Japanese one is... I haven't seen either of them.
I will lend it to you today.
Awesome.
I will lend it to you today. It's a great watch.
I'm taking Donald's entire DVD collection home with me.
And as long as you bring it back, I don't mind. But it's just... It's such a gorgeous film. Like, and so 1990... It's based off of a manga series from the 80s with the same name. The creator had a hand in helping develop the film and everything like that. And, like, as you said, like, you know how you said, like, there's, like, so many biblical references in Star Wars and everything like that. It's just a lot of, like, sci-fi films, like really, like, good sci-fi films. But, I mean, it all depends on your interpretation of good. Yeah. Like, blends, like, myth and fantasy and faith in with like all these different things, and Ghost in the Shell is one that does that. Yeah. Because you're set in a world where humans are becoming more akin to cyborgs.
Oh.
And it's like an entire thing about that, and like it's set in like a world where it's like 10 years in the future from like today's date right now almost.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so like 2030.
Okay.
And like the entire concept of like they come up with a concept where your entire brain is a computer, a cyber brain, where you use it to access news, access the internet. Like basically, think of it as a smartphone, but in your brain. And your eyes can constantly bring up multiple windows.
Like, how do you know what you actually know and what the internet just told you into your brain?
Exactly. It's like concepts like that and everything like that. And thing is, like,
they can change what you know. They can make it into fact by changing what's on the internet.
And even better than off of that, like off of the movie and everything like that, because it was such a huge influential. Like that and Akira were two of like. A lot of the big Japanese anime films that hit huge in the West and like got the West's attention to like Japanese anime and everything like that spawned into what it is today.
Yeah.
Like this fascination with everything animated that comes out of Japan.
Yeah. Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, if a computer was your brain.
And
Wikipedia we would be convinced and know for a fact because it's on the internet. That Shia LaBeouf is a cannibal.
Don't even need fact check. If it's on Wikipedia, it must be true.
It must be true.
And what I love,
my leg gets caught in a bear trap.
And like out of that too, it's just like the film was like so good. Like even a decade later, they released like an action, a full series, and I have the series as well. I'm such a huge fan of this show.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's so good.
Oh man, yeah.
And again, Hannah, my library's open if you ever want to borrow it. Like,
awesome.
As always.
Oh man.
I enjoy sharing the things I love with my friends.
Oh, as do I. Yeah, I think that myths and stuff like that have a lot of influence on on science fiction, particularly because it's sort of, I guess, a person who I grew up reading the Bible, so like I know that story,
right?
And so it's very easy for me to see sort of like that arc and what I know as salvation history kind of thing, and
right.
It sort of makes something more three-dimensional for me to think about it in those terms, and kind of like how you can also sort of see like Greek myths. I'm a big fan of Greek myths. You can see Greek myth references in
right.
In science fiction as well. Like what am I thinking of? I don't know. Donald, say something.
Well, I mean, like, even with, like, all the references, like science, like, the genre of science fiction goes back a while. I think, like, one of the earliest stories of that was, like, the, like, late 1800s, like, around the turn of the century. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it was at the top of my head, but, it was some writing or some, like, book.
Is Lovecraft science fiction?
Maybe. Technically, I think you would put that in that realm.
It's about aliens.
Yeah, like, anything alien or something like that would technically be, like, a science fiction, just because we don't have any, like, proof on that.
Yeah.
But especially with aliens, like, you can go, like, so many different directions and things like that, but...
Yeah, like,
I
read something, it was a story by Lovecraft about a meteor that fell to the Earth, and it being in proximity with it drove people mad, and like it was a color that they'd never seen before or something. Ah, gosh.
Absolutely.
Hannah is Googling.
While Hannah's Googling, I can share this. So, in the past, like, 2 years, me and my brother, we had the honor and the privilege of discovering and digging up the oldest science fiction film that was made.
Oh.
It is a 3-hour silent film from like the 1920s called Metropolis. It is a German it's a German science fiction film that
Metropolis.
Yes, indeed. it deals with like issues of socialism and like things that were present during that time and things, and it deals with like a futuristic type of like city and in a dystopian setting, and like it was like one of the first like visual mediums that brought into the concept of like androids and cyborgs and things like that.
Cool. I found the Lovecraft story.
Oh.
It's called The Color Out of Space. Written in 1927.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah, it's about a meteorite that crashes in the wild hills of Arkham, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And it poisons every living thing nearby. Vegetation grows large but foul tasting. Animals are driven mad, and the people go insane or die one by one.
Indeed.
Apparently, it was adapted into a film this year.
Oh.
For the 2019 film adaptation of the story, see Color Out of Space film. I wonder if that ever came out.
I don't know if it has yet. If not, I want to see it.
It's written and directed by Richard Stanley.
Okay.
It stars Nicolas Cage.
Oh God.
Zoe Richardson, Madeline Arthur, Koreanka Kilcher, and Tommy Chong.
Okay, we need to find this.
This is Stanley's first feature film.
Tommy Chong.
Tommy Chong.
Wow.
Produced by some people and Elijah Wood.
Oh my God. Okay,
that sweet blue-eyed boy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah, I want to see this.
We have to now. But
it's Richard Stanley's first feature film directed since his firing from the island of Dr. Moreau in 1996.
That's insane.
Oh my gosh! But no, it's in Arkham, Massachusetts. I wonder if that has anything to do with the. Wait a minute. Maybe that's why. Is it in Batman that the
Arkham Asylum?
Arkham Asylum. Okay.
I don't know if that's like the direct translation off of that. That would be amazing if that was true though.
I feel like it's a reference to this Lovecraft thing about everybody going mad and stuff.
I mean, like there's so many different references to H.P. Lovecraft stories. Like
this article is about the city Arkham in fiction. For the hospital in DC Comics, see Arkham Asylum.
There we go.
I'm just reading you footnotes. Yes. Okay. Ooh. Yes. So, Arkham is a dark city and an integral part of the Lovecraft country setting created by Lovecraft. It is featured in many stories from the Cthulhu mythos.
My goodness.
Arkham House is a publishing company started by two of Lovecraft's correspondents, and it was a tribute to him, calling it that. Oh, man. Anyway.
We're learning so much off of this.
Oh, yeah, the institution... Wait, Arkham. It's the home to Miskatonic University. I'm pretty sure that that's where some of the people who studied the Cthulhu obelisk were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Other notable institutions in Arkham are the Arkham Historical Society and the Arkham Sanitarium.
My God.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm picturing that, and I'm picturing like the Arkham Asylum from Batman in my head, and I'm like, I can totally buy this.
Yeah, it's probably Arkham Asylum in Batman is probably a tip of the hat to Lovecraft.
I would not put it past it. I would not put it past it.
Yeah. Oh man.
But okay, so I have to tell you this story about like again when me and my little brother were like first discovering like Metropolis and everything like that. We managed to find it on Netflix.
Find what?
The silent film because we wanted to watch it.
Oh, the silent film, It.
No, not It. The Metropolis one. The
Metropolis, right? I thought you meant It.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's all right. We're not dealing with horror.
We were looking for it.
Because
somewhere in this forest.
Because me and him wanted to watch a movie one night, and like we were exploring like more silent film stuff, and we had heard about Metropolis before, but as we were watching it, like we noticed like there was like certain points in the film where it was doing like descriptions of specific settings that it wasn't showing, and we were like, what? Why is this?
You mean it was just written out and said like a spooky county heath?
Almost
a lone horseman riding.
Yeah, almost kind of like that. So we looked it up and we discovered like this film has had a lot of editing behind the scenes thing behind it because when it was originally released, it was panned by critics, and it was over the years like there were so many cuts to the film and it was like immensely shortened down from its like original like near 3-hour running, and over time a lot of the footage was lost.
Oh.
So there was never ever a complete cut of the film. So like and people have been wanting to do it for like find like all the lost footage and everything in order to piece it together and everything like that.
Yeah.
It took until about I think it was this decade or last decade they managed to find a damaged copy of the film, like an uncut copy. In I believe it was a museum in Argentina. I want to say it's Argentina that loaned it to a historical filmmaking society, and I want to say Germany.
Okay.
Where they used an edited down version in order to piece together like some of the scenes, and they managed to restore 95% of the original footage. But
in Germany?
Yeah, but 5%.
Metropolis belongs to the Germans, so it should go there. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. But 5% of the original footage is still lost.
Whoa.
And I'm like, if the DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future existed, I would go back in time to steal We have to steal one of the original prints.
Oh man.
To make sure it survives.
Yeah. Oh, so you would, if you could go back in time, that's what you would do?
Like in order to like procure like lost art that was damaged, I would so manipulate that.
Yeah.
Like like, and be honest with me, wouldn't you like to go back in time and to visit Vincent van Gogh?
Hell yeah.
And find out that he created a painting that was never released.
Yeah.
That was never shown.
Yeah. Isn't there a Doctor Who episode about that?
Yeah, there was a Doctor Who episode about that, and
Pandorica opens.
And I'll get on that, because I want to talk about that because I love that show to death.
Oh.
But yeah, and like I was like, I would totally go back there and like before because he used to paint over some of them. I know they rediscovered like there was like another painting underneath one of the Van Gogh masters recently, and I'm like, if I had the power of time travel, I would so do that. They probably
now have the technology to like see what's underneath somehow, right?
They do. But imagine if the master that we all love is still there, but there's also another equally beloved master that it wasn't painted over.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, go back and bring that one, and then he'll just have to find something else to paint it on.
Yes,
that is ridiculous.
But I'm like,
oh man.
But I'm like, think about everything we could have done.
Yeah.
That you could do. Like, you could go back in time and like procure all of like some of the original works before like what was it, the Library of London burning?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But speaking of time travel, of course, time travel is like one of the most like constant points of science fiction, and of course, the most famous one today in pop culture is we mentioned it, Doctor Who.
Yep.
One of the oldest science fiction shows in existence.
Yep.
From all the way in the 1960s to now.
Yep. Oh man.
And I love all of it, from its hokiness to its seriousness. Yeah. I love it.
You know, I've only seen some of the more recent ones, but I
started off with some of the more recent ones. So.
I've seen Eccleston through Matt Smith.
Oh.
And I saw a couple of episodes with what is his name?
Capaldi?
Capaldi, yeah.
You would love Capaldi.
Yes, I know.
All
I remember about him was he was like, "Oh, I'm Scottish now. I can complain about things.
Oh, I can really
complain about things."
What devilry is this? I don't know, but I probably blame the English.
I probably blame.
You would love Capaldi, like his dry wit and his dry wit and sarcasticness is just so great. But my God, like they did, like you want to talk about like. A lot of influences in like science fiction, like for as much as we say like Star Trek and Star Wars played a big part in that, Doctor Who played as much of a part.
Yeah.
Like the concepts of like time travel to like different like species of aliens to, and like some of the designs of like the enemies they meet on the show have been constantly thing. Like you have Daleks, which have been like a staple in a British pop culture for like decades.
Yeah.
I mean, they're moving salt shakers.
Yeah.
That's what they are. With a raspy voice like this.
Oh yeah. This is it.
But man,
I always get the Daleks mixed up with Nomad from Star Trek.
Oh,
the robot.
Yeah.
Sterilize Nomad.
Yep. Yeah. Sometimes
non sequitur.
Sometimes when you watch and read too much science fiction, everything kind of blurs together.
Error.
Exterminate. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then of course, like Doctor Who always introduced another thing that science fiction has a lot of, and that's gadgets. Gadgets. Yep. Oh my God. Like, you want to talk about some great science fiction gadgets that have like in sci-fi that became reality.
Yep.
Cell phones and smartphones became a mainstay thing. That's like one of the big ones. That was inspired by science fiction and became reality.
Yep. Yeah.
We're still working on those flying cars, though. Back to the Future, you said we'd have this shit by 2015. You lied to us, Zemeckis.
You said we'd all have hoverboards. You said we'd all be wearing tinfoil by this point.
And Oh.
We'd be dressed in
the style,
space blankets.
The modern dressing style would be we would have our pockets inside out.
Yep, pockets. Wait, so to get something out of your pocket, you have to go into your pants?
No. Like, literally, there would be nothing in the pocket, and the pocket would constantly be, like, turned out like this.
I thought you meant that the pocket was like that, but then to get, like, into the pocket, you had to, like, put your hand down your pants and, like...
Oh, that would be so inconvenient.
I know, but it would be fashionable, yeah?
I mean, it'd be fashionable, but I'm like, so what do you do then? Do you just not wear a belt?
Yeah.
But then again...
Or you just make sure that you get everything you need when you use the restroom.
Yeah, but then again, they don't even have to wear belts in that, like, belts in there too, because in Back to the Future Part 2, all of the clothes were self-fitting.
Oh yeah, so you don't need a belt anymore.
What happened to self-fitting clothes?
Oh man. I don't know. I don't want my clothes to be too smart. If people wanted everybody dead, they would just program your clothes to strangle you.
If I can have one piece of clothing that was
only the nudists would survive.
Indeed, in that universe, yes. But if I had one piece of clothing that I wanted to last forever and that was constantly self-fitting, it would be freaking shoes. I hate spending money on shoes.
Same.
I've gone through 5 pair this year,
dude,
and it sucks. I need to switch to boots.
Shoes.
That's all I need to do. I need to switch to boots.
Yeah, boots are pretty cool. Yeah, at Goodwill, you can get them.
As Hannah's, like, flashing hers to me right now.
There's a little pause there. As Hannah is flashing. You're like, thank God it's a podcast.
Indeed.
No, it's you.
One day we shall turn to video. Maybe. Who knows?
No, probably not.
Who knows?
But with the state of the studio at the moment, I don't think we should do that.
No, not yet. If we manage to get good enough and we just do a live show or something, maybe.
Yeah, our recording area is it's a piece of, like, it's a glass coffee table top on top of a, like, big concrete block.
Yeah,
we're sitting in folding chairs
in
the semi-darkness with one lamp with a naked light bulb, right?
I'm planning to upgrade.
Yeah. I know.
Why?
A coat of paint, a couple of throw pillows.
I think it might look kind of homely.
Well, kind of homely.
Indeed. Well, I mean, it's better to, like, sit in the folding chairs and not just sit in a rocking chair with, like, it constantly creaking in the background. Oh my God, I have nightmares. I still have nightmares about that when I did that. Why? It's almost like nails on a chalkboard with that.
Yep. Back in my day, we did podcasts in rocking chairs.
Oh my God, it might just end up being that one day. Who knows?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Woo, yeah. What's your favorite episode of Star Trek?
Ooh. Which Star Trek are we talking about here?
You know,
are we just broadening out to, like, everything?
Sure, yeah. I haven't seen. My experience of it is pretty limited. I have only seen the original series and a little bit of Next Generation.
My original introduction to Star Trek was through the Voyager series.
Okay, I think I saw the movie that was, like, the beginning of that.
Right.
I saw that movie.
Yeah, so I saw like the Star Trek Voyager series, which was my first introduction to Star Trek, and, like, it's a really good entry. I love that series. But then I watched, like, some of the original Star Trek, and, like, I love Next Generation.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint. Okay, actually, I can't pinpoint one. It's the story where Picard becomes a part of the Borg. I love.
I know the Borg. I know what the Borg is.
I am Romulus of Borg.
That's the you will be assimilated.
That's the machine race that assimilates everyone. It's like a hive mind.
Yeah, see, I know that. I understood that reference.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
It's so. I can't even describe, because it's just like, I had never experienced stuff like that, because it's like Next Generation, like, they really, like, upped it up. But then again, I also love Patrick Stewart. Like,
oh yeah, he's excellent.
I treasure the fact that I had the chance to actually meet him and shake his hand.
Which hand did you shake his hand with?
Right hand.
I'm touching Donald's hand. The hand that touched the hand of Patrick Stewart.
And Ian McKellen.
I squeezed the hand.
I met them both at the same time.
Oh my gosh! Did you go to see Waiting for Godot?
Yes.
Okay, I really wanted to see that.
Yeah, and
I was trying to think who has touched my hand so that I could give you some glory, but I don't.
It's all to share, Hannah. It's all to share. It's all to share.
Oh yes.
She can feel the power.
Oh, I can feel it.
So basically the story behind that. When I was in college, we went to we took a spring break trip to New York City around the time where Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen were doing Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot on Broadway, and I remember this memory well. My one of the instructors that went with us, she was the head of costuming. She was head of the prop department at the time, and she was also in charge of like Out and About, which it was a class she did every Wednesday night. They would go see theater in the community. May she rest in peace. I miss that woman dearly. And I was with her. We brought some craft beer and wine from Milwaukee in order to give to them because this was one show we all agreed we were all going to see.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
It was us and a bunch of other theater students from the theater department, and I was the one that was helping her take the stuff in the backstage because all the professors at UWM had like so many connections with so many different theaters around the world. I mean, we got a backstage tour of Phantom of the Opera through those connections, and I got to wear the Red Death mask.
Dude, that's amazing.
I couldn't take a picture in it, but I got to wear it.
Right, yeah. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we were like, they haven't come in yet because they haven't come in yet, and we're just trying to stick them in, and we're like, well, just let them know we came from here, and like, we gave this to them. We don't want to interrupt them, everything like that. And as soon as we were walking out to rejoin everybody in line, in comes Stewart and McKellen!
Oh my gosh!
And me and my instructor, we're just sitting there petrified. In the back of my head, I'm like, there's so much I want to tell them. I just wanted to say all the work for Gandalf and everything like that. And I'm doing everything I'm just doing everything in my power to like not fangirl over this. And I'm
like,
and I just strongly shake their hand and I'm like, break a leg, just so meekly.
Nice.
I'm just like, did that really just happen?
Have I actually?
Two of my idols from fantasy and sci-fi.
Yeah. Oh man.
Sir Jean-Luc Picard and Professor X.
Yeah.
Gandalf and Magneto from X-Men.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm just like, this can't be real.
Yeah. Oh, X-Men. I like X-Men too.
Oh my god.
But I have not shaken the hand, but I have been in close proximity during a show to Robert Bathurst, if you know who that is. Your stunned silence is very reassuring.
I need to hug you in order to absorb some of this power.
Okay. Do you know who Robert Bathurst is?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay.
He was in Downton Abbey.
Yep. Okay. I needed to exchange that with you just because you got a little bit of my Stewart and McKellen on you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god. Okay. Yeah. Yep. We're exchanging this right now.
In my hometown of Chicago, he was I think it was Charles II in a future history that somebody wrote. It was like about what would happen. It was like what would happen when Queen Elizabeth died.
Oh my god!
It was very interesting.
Fiction like that, especially, is like so good. You want to talk about a science fiction icon?
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
Ooh, yeah. To go back to the Future.
Doc Brown. Did you
search for Spock?
This relates to us since we're on the topic of like stuff.
Yeah.
Did you hear? He's gonna be doing King Lear at Shakespeare and Company.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. So I know we've mentioned Shakespeare and Company before. It's a it's a theater in Lenox, Massachusetts, around the Berkshires area that does a lot of Shakespeare in like a recent plays. It's been going for many years. I took a part of it as part of like the month-long acting intensive during the summer that was available to students. And recently I heard news broke from some of the company members that I am acquainted with that Christopher Lloyd's going to be doing King Lear.
Nice.
And I'm like, That's going to be a hot ticket.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very hot ticket.
Feels like some sort of thing that will be kept a secret or something.
I think they broke the news with like the season announcement. So
okay.
That's why.
Okay. I never know.
But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, when is this? Where can I buy tickets?
For real.
Can I get comp tickets for a couple friends of mine? You would be included in that. And can we road trip?
Yeah.
I don't mind sleeping on some floors going up there. I'll have everybody.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I don't mind. Oh man.
Everybody else can take the comfortable cushions, everything like that. I will sleep comfortably on the floor just to make sure I can see this show.
Yep.
But also mainly just because I love visiting Shakes and Co.
Yeah.
So
We ride tonight.
we ride for the glory of Shakespeare
Tonight. Yeah. Oh man. If I could have met Alan Rickman, that would be one of the people I would have wanted to meet. What a great man. And and I really admire him because he's known for his voice.
Yes.
People love his voice. I could listen to Alan Rickman read the phone book, but when he was young, he had a speech impediment.
That's right.
He couldn't his bottom jaw, his jaw.
Yeah.
He couldn't move it.
Oh.
And I think that never got fixed, but he
worked around it. He adapted to it,
and it was amazing. And he could do accents as well.
Like you want to talk about like some of the most influential like actors from the UK and all that have the most distinct voices. Alan Rickman is on top of that list.
Yes. Oh, man. Speaking of Alan Rickman and sci-fi, have you seen Galaxy Quest?
I was just about to bring it up!
Yes!
That was the first movie I've seen with Alan Rickman in it.
Oh my gosh.
He is the best. Him and Guy... Him and Guy were the two of the best parts about that movie. And not only that, but you also have the sci-fi legend Sigourney Weaver in there, okay?
Man, yeah.
The alien mama herself.
Yeah. Guy. Just... Kurtman number 6.
That's Kurtman number 6.
And lots of good people in there. What's his name? All I can think of is Monk.
Yeah, the guy who played Monk. Yeah.
Oh, what is his name?
Oh my god, she's just constantly eating everything.
And Tim Allen.
Yep, like Tim Allen was so good at that. It was a comedy sci-fi film, but it was so good.
Yeah.
How dare that film be so good? But bless that film for being so freaking good!
I love it.
It was supposed to be a spoof on Star Trek, but it's so good it could have been its own thing!
Yeah, I know! Never give up.
Never surrender.
Yes.
And it also gave us the acting debut of Justin Long.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
Yeah! Brandon.
I knew it!
I knew it! Oh my gosh, I knew it.
Whoever designed this episode needs to get shot!
I wrote this episode should die.
It was such a good thing because it takes like every like sci-fi element that you think about with Star Trek, but then you also bring in like the fandom, like the Trekkie fandom, and like how like over the top they can go sometimes. And this goes the most over the top. They recreated the actual spaceship, and it works. Every single little design. I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect. Like as a kid, I was just fascinated by it, but watching it again as adult, and I rewatched it again as adult,
funny.
Like the day Alan Rickman died, I rewatched the film again, and I was thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, why didn't I rewatch this again sooner?
Oh man, yeah.
It is such a fun, smart film.
Oh yeah, I love it. The Maktar chant of strength.
Indeed.
Narak, Tarath, Narak, Tarath, Narak, Tarath.
Nothing is nothing out here, but the animal is turned inside out. I heard that. He just turned inside out.
And
then it exploded.
And it exploded.
He's just sitting there just like with gunk all over his face. And it exploded. It's so good. Well, you're just gonna have to figure out what it wants. What is its motivation? It's a giant rock monster. I don't think it has motivation. Oh, well, that's the problem with you. You never respected the craft.
Well, go for its eyes, its throat, its vulnerable spots.
It doesn't have any weak spots.
It's a rock. It doesn't have any vulnerable spots.
I'm just like, oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah, so that movie is just, it's about a bunch of washed up sci-fi actors in a show called Galaxy Quest. It's like Star Trek, and it's about them encountering some aliens who watched their show and thought it was history and came down to ask them to help save their planet.
Basically, if Trekkie fans from space came across the original crew members from the original Star Trek and had them go do actual things in space on the actual ship.
It's like the Magnificent Seven in space.
Kind of.
Or like A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
The bugs, they're actors in the circus, but the ants.
Oh my god! Yeah, that is so on point. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. So it's that kind of movie.
Oh my god!
It's something that's one of the ways that I like to categorize movies. Like, you've got Magnificent Seven in space. Another common one that people do is
bless you, Akira Kurosawa and Seven Samurai for introducing that trope.
That too, yeah.
That was the one that started it all.
Oh man, yeah.
Still need to get that movie on a physical copy.
Oh yeah, it came in 2 discs because it was so long. And
it was a 3-hour film.
Gosh, yeah. And when I watched it with my mom, we accidentally put in the second disc.
Oh no!
And it started at the beginning or in the middle where they're like helping the villagers harvest stuff, and we were thinking, well, this is a weird beginning to a movie. Like, there aren't even any credits at the beginning or anything, and it still made sense. But it was like one of those like in media res, in the Greek myths,
right?
Or the epics by Homer, where they go we saw it like that, even though that wasn't the way it was supposed to be.
Absolutely. Oh, you want to... So, you know how I said how Seven Samurai, influenced, a lot of stuff?
Yeah.
I'm circling this back around to Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I don't know if you've seen any of, the, TV series that, they've been doing lately. Like Clone Wars or Rebels.
I have seen a lot more of the Rebels.
Okay.
Very underrated, I think. But
yeah,
I like it.
Well, for several reasons, and for particularly this one. Did you see the scene in Rebels where it was the standoff between Maul and Kenobi?
Oh gosh, I don't think I've seen that yet.
Okay, it's in season 3. Do you mind spoilers on this?
No, not at all.
Okay, so to circle this back around to Seven Samurai. Do you remember the samurai they come across that he was in a sparring match against another one, and he said if it was an actual sword, you would lose?
Yeah, I think so.
And then they do the actual duel with swords, and then he killed the other one?
Yeah.
The fight between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi in Rebels in Season 3 takes from that.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm actually going to bring this up, because this scene is too beautiful,
So we're gonna
to explain.
We're gonna watch it?
Yes, I'm going to...
Okay.
This is the first time ever for the podcast. I have to do this.
Okay. I'm just yeah, you could just listen to it. Oh gosh.
I will post a link in it later just for... Okay, advertisement, go away. I need you to go away right now for this.
Yeah.
Please.
But there's all sorts of... One of the myth things that is referenced in Star Wars, there's in The Empire Strikes Back, when Luke goes into the cave on Yoda's planet. It's like Odysseus going into the underworld, and I think he sees his father there or something. Odysseus, I think he does in the underworld.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
All
Just
right.
Stuff like that. I never understood that scene for the longest time, and then I realized what it was. That it was supposed to be like.
All right.
Okay, you're showing me a scene. Okay,
all right.
I'll come over.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
I have Hannah right by me. All right, he puts out the fire because they're confronting. He was trying to find Ben this whole time.
Okay.
Why you come to this place? Not simply to hide.
Oh.
You have a purpose here. Perhaps you are protecting something. No. Protecting someone.
And here's the thing, Maul had been here for a while.
Oh.
And and he was trying to like provoke Kenobi by bringing up stuff in the past.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like he can.
Well, yeah, because he killed Qui-Gon.
Yeah, well, not only that, but there's also like a lot of stuff in like the Clone Wars TV series that happened.
Okay.
That
See, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I won't spoil that for you, but it wasn't until that like he discerned it that Kenobi finally decides to take action.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, dual form from Maul.
Yep.
They're just doing standoff right now.
Yep.
Obi-Wan takes Qui-Gon's stance.
Ooh.
They're just staring each other down. Scary eyes from Maul.
Creepy eyes. Oh my gosh.
And then...
Whoo! Okay.
3 strikes.
That... Oh, nice.
Moment to realize that he has fallen.
Oh, shoot. Yikes.
And then...
Always loved you. Oh, no.
Oh, hold on. This is the part that gets me.
Tell me, is it the
Chosen one.
He is. He will avenge us.
And then he dies. And Kenobi respecting him. There. That's how that entire thing goes.
Oh, wow. Okay. And that's the Seven Samurai thing?
Yeah, like it's such like an homage to that one like standoff fight. Like, oh my god! Like I first saw that, and me and a friend of mine who was watching it with me. He's such a huge Star Wars fan, and he's like, oh, how are they gonna do this? Because they did it in a big drag out fight in the because he's seen like the extended universe stuff, and it was Uncle Owen that shot Darth Maul to death in the comics. But then we saw this, and instantly he's like, yeah, this is 10 times better.
Uh-huh. Cool. Oh my gosh.
Because it ties into, like,
yeah.
the movies and, like, the Clone Wars TV series. So it's just like, when you have something like that, and you have that much source material, and you connect this grand epic.
Yeah.
Like, epics in science fiction can be difficult to do.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that Star Wars achieves that.
It's become a science fiction universe, and I love...
Oh, man. But I've enjoyed what I've seen of Rebels so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think it's available on Disney Plus, so...
Is it? Cool. Another plug for Disney Plus, apparently. But, yeah. I
can't wait to buy and download on that. Well, I mean... That's science. We like science fiction plays such good aspects. It takes so many different aspects from like fantasy, religion, all that stuff, and it creates something
mythology.
It creates its own kind of mythology. And that's what I love so much.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, we only brushed the surface there of science fiction, but we didn't even talk about Dune.
Oh my god. well, there's so much like science fiction stuff. We covered like so much time travel stuff. Like there's so many like little different subgenres about it. Like it's impossible to cover it all.
It's just wherever the microphone takes us.
Indeed.
On whatever day.
Well, I think we should probably wrap up soon because we're reaching an hour.
Really?
Oh wow.
Okay,
we're reaching an hour. Like I know that last part dragged on for a little bit, but I wanted your live reaction to it because it was such a great scene. Yeah. But
oh gosh.
Thanks for indulging on that one, Hannah.
Of course, yeah.
So again, guys, thank you so much for listening in on today's episode of General Geekery. If you're as much of a fan of sci-fi and like geekiness as much as me and Hannah are, go ahead and follow us. We're on Spreaker and on Spotify at the General Geekery Podcast. I think hopefully I can get us on SoundCloud soon.
Cool. Okay.
So I'm still working on that. You can also follow us on Facebook at General Geekery Podcast. You can follow me, Donald, at on Twitter and Instagram at RyuzakiMK7.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Pythian Legume. And you can also watch me play D&D live with my party on Loaded Dice Adventures on Monday nights at 7:30 on Twitch.
And we'll put all the links for that
Yep.
in the description for this episode. Go check out Loaded Dice Adventures. They do great campaigns. They have giveaways of art, miniatures, dice. I almost got the dice last time.
I know you did.
You messaged me just so we get them. Like, Donald, you need to get the dice.
They thought that was so funny. I was calling people on my phone, just be like, "Dude, get on and enter for these dice."
I know. I'm trying. I'm trying. But yeah, that's pretty much it for right now. Yeah. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
This has been episode 4 of the General Geekery podcast, and until next time, guys, always remember to
Never give up.
never give up, never surrender.
surrender.
Keep your geek on.
Keep your geek on.
Cheers to that. May the geek be with you.